The next tip has to do with cactus, sugarcane, and some things like pumpkins and melons. What can happen is these are only allowed to grow up to a height of 3, but once they've grown up to that height, they're not being productive in producing more that could continue to multiply them. If you're doing something in the background while this is growing next to you and you see it grow, break it and put it off to the side rather than leaving it there. Another issue is, look, when this is too high, this can grow once in one tick. But if you break it and replant it, now this is open and this is open. In the case of melon, if it's obstructed, you can't have a chance for another one to grow. But when it comes to breaking blocks inside of water with fortune, it causes the items to disperse all over the place in a way where they can drift off into a crevice to never be seen again. If I was in a cave or something, these could get lost, but if I have silk touch, I can count and make sure that it matches how many I broke. And also, I am not going to smelt these in a furnace. Instead, I'm going to actually place them down and later mine them with the fortune one. When you have ores, it's a good idea to just mine around the area in all 3 dimensions. Make sure that you're going around it. Having a lot of leaves, grass especially, is a nuisance. Like, grass has a hitbox that can block you from hitting mobs. It also obstructs saplings and stuff that fall on the ground. Trees in general make it much harder to see mobs. If you're looking for a large number of mobs, it's going to be way harder. Bamboo is actually a great additional source of sticks for things like stick trading, especially when you consider how quickly it can be multiplied across and how quickly it can be broken, and the fact that it grows extremely rapidly too. The next thing is, with whatever fuel source you're using, make sure you know how many it actually smelts, and that however much you're smelting is divisible by that number. Also, if you're stuck in the nether unable to smelt something, just convert either of these to sticks. Try to store things in your inventory in their compressed pre-crafted form to help save up some space. You're going to be able to make so many more torches with this. If you somehow find pale moss, it's a great idea for low effort terraforming early in the game when you don't have a high speed hoe. If you light it with flint and steel, it'll burn up without you having to mine with a pickaxe. It's okay to use a flint and steel to get rid of a lot of trees. Often you'll just have stumps that you can break down way more easily. Also, just in general, don't forget about collecting coal and lapis throughout the game, like as a habit when you see it, because you will need it quite a lot. Useful way to get down can be to stand at the top and build up gravity blocks until you can come down and dig yourself down. If you have an efficiency 5 shovel, you'll insta-mine down and that can make you take fall damage. Also, if it's gravel and not sand, then use a torch because you don't want to lose some of the gravel to flint as you break it more and more times. You can use a water bucket for the same thing. Water buckets don't work in the nether, so if you try to climb or something with one, that's not going to work. If you only have one water source, duplicate it using bottles and a cauldron so that you actually duplicate your water. If you're crafting stuff that's stone, then actually use a stone cutter. It's like objectively cheaper. If you have a build where you want to know how many of each block you use to build it in survival mode, use fill replace and have the log tell you. So if I say stone replace sand, I use 12 sand, for example. If you're ever lost, go near 0, 0. It's much more likely that where you spawn will be near there than anywhere else in the world. If you crawl while mining, you can save a lot of durability. Instead of staring down, stand between 2 blocks and break either side as you go down like this. You'll always be standing on something. It's always better to dye sheep than it is to dye the wool that you get from them, because then instead of having to use an infinite amount of dye, you only have to use it once. In Java, the easiest way to predict where an ender pearl is actually going to go is to just throw a snowball. This is the direction finder on blocktools.deep-orbit.com. You enter your start coordinates and your end coordinates, and it gives you an angle to go at that's the optimal angle. This is a resource calculator, and what this can do is it can tell you the raw amount of every single resource you need to craft something. This is the enchanting calculator that I mentioned earlier on the Minecraft wikis online, is the renewable resources list. There's a shocking number of things in here that are not intuitive at all that are indeed renewable. Let's say the angle it gave was 100 degrees. You want to go 35 degrees up. This is correct. Pick up your mouse off of the table, right click. Every time it ends, right click again. This is a very fast way to get somewhere.